They thought it was just going to be an interesting day. They had no idea their lives were about to change forever. It was supposed to be just another ordinary Tuesday at Blackwater Base. But everything changed the moment Isabella Stone stepped through that door. She walked into the barracks. Stunning beauty, perfect smile. Lieutenant Jake Morgan was the king of this unit. Best shooter, top scores, everyone looked up to him. When he saw the new assignment list that afternoon, he barely glanced at the names. Just another batch of transfers. But when he spotted one particular name, Isabella Stone, something cold ran down his spine. Welcome to Quiet Tales Studio. Before we dive into this story of hidden skills and shattered assumptions, tell me in the comments where you're watching from today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, hit that subscribe button and help us share these incredible tales. Blackwater Base was home to the Army's elite sniper training program. Lieutenant Jake Reaper Morgan had earned his nickname through 3 tours in Afghanistan and 47 confirmed kills. At 32, he was the undisputed king of the base. That confidence was about to be tested. The barracks door opened at 06:45. Jake looked up, expecting another battle-hardened soldier. Instead, he saw her. Isabella Stone stepped in like she was entering a 5-star hotel. Perfect hair, flawless makeup, expensive perfume. She made the standard uniform look like designer fashion. The room fell silent. "Miss, I think you're lost," said Sergeant Torres. "Administrative offices are in Building C." Isabella smiled warmly. "I'm exactly where I need to be." Isabella Stone, reporting for duty. Jake studied her. Something seemed off. She was too composed, too confident. "What's your MOS, Stone?" Jake asked. 11 Bravo, she replied. "Infantry, combat arms." The room erupted in laughter. "Sweetheart, maybe you meant human resources." Torres grinned. "No mistake, I'm here for the advanced marksmanship program." The laughter died immediately. Advanced marksmanship was elite training with a 60% washout rate. "You're serious," Jake said, standing. "Dead serious," she replied, and something in her tone made Jake's stomach tighten. Isabella was assigned a bunk and given orientation. Throughout it all, she maintained serene confidence, taking notes in perfect handwriting. During lunch, whispers started. "She won't last a day," predicted Corporal Kim. 2 hours before she's crying," added Rodriguez. Jake listened but said nothing. Something bothered him about Isabella Stone. The way she moved, too fluid, too aware. The way she looked at his rifle when she thought no one was watching. Not with curiosity, but with recognition. Captain Morrison announced the training schedule. Qualification shoot starting at 300 meters, working up to 1,200. Miss your mark, you're out. His gaze settled on Isabella. "This isn't a place for participation trophies. Either you can make the shot when it matters, or you pack your bags." "Understood, sir," Isabella nodded. Walking to the barracks, Jake found himself beside her. "It's not too late to request a transfer. Maybe logistics or communications." Isabella stopped and turned. Her green eyes were intense, almost dangerous. "You're worried about me, Lieutenant?" "I'm worried about what happens when reality hits. People's lives depend on the skills we teach here." "I couldn't agree more," she said, smiling. Jake felt a chill that had nothing to do with weather. That evening, Jake reviewed personnel files. When he reached Isabella's, his fingers stopped moving. Her record was largely classified, black bars and redacted text. What wasn't classified was terrifying. expert marksmanship badge, distinguished rifle badge, specialized schools most soldiers only dreamed of. The final entry made his blood run cold. Current assignment, classified. Instructor level clearance required. Jake called his former commanding officer. Colonel Peterson, I need to ask about Isabella Stone. Long silence. Jake, listen carefully. You never called me. We never had this conversation. If Isabella Stone is at your base, treat her with the respect due to someone who outranks you in every way that matters. Sir, I don't understand. You don't need to understand. Stay out of her way. The line went dead. Next morning, perfect shooting conditions. Jake arrived early, setting up equipment. Other soldiers filtered in. Betting pools forming around how quickly Isabella would quit. She arrived exactly on time, carrying standard equipment, wearing immaculate uniform. Today we start at 300 meters, announced Master Sergeant Williams. 5 shots, all within the 10 ring, or you're done. Shooters took positions. Jake positioned himself at lane 7. Isabella was assigned lane 8, directly beside him. Nervous? Jake asked. Should I be? She replied, adjusting her scope with movements too practiced for a novice. Soldiers took turns. Some passed, some failed. Several packed equipment with disappointed expressions. Stone, you're up, Williams called. Isabella moved to the firing line with fluid movements. Jake expected fumbling uncertainty. Instead, he saw perfection. Her breathing controlled, position textbook, scope adjustments confident. Ready on the firing line. Isabella fired. Jake focused on her technique, perfect recoil absorption, immediate return to target, no flinch. Target, Williams called. Dead center of the 10 ring. 4 more shots followed, each perfectly placed. 5 shots, 1 hole, Williams announced. Outstanding. The range fell silent. Jake's worldview shifted. This wasn't luck. Isabella was operating at a level most soldiers would never reach. Morgan, you're up. Jake fired his 5 shots with all his skill. 4 in the 10 ring, 1 in the 9. Good score. Excellent by most standards, but not perfect. Training progressed through increasing distances. 500 meters, 800 meters, 1,000 meters. Isabella dominated every challenge. At 500 meters, perfect groups while others struggled with wind. At 800 meters, compensating for atmospheric pressure. At 1,000 meters, textbook shots. Jake's performance suffered. Competing against someone operating on a different level affected his concentration. His reputation crumbled with each passing day. Friday morning, Williams made an announcement. Special challenge today. 1,200 meters, moving target, variable winds. 1 shot, miss, and you're out entirely. Stone, you're first up. Isabella approached with calm confidence. The target was human-sized, moving unpredictably at the range's far end. She calculated wind speed, direction, target movement, bullet drop, dozens of variables processed in real time. Isabella made final adjustments and settled behind the rifle. Complete silence. Even the wind seemed to pause. She fired. Hit, Williams announced, amazed. Center mass. Explosion of conversations. Soldiers crowded spotting scopes, unable to believe what they witnessed. How? Jake asked. Practice, Isabella said simply. Your turn, Morgan. Jake fired and missed entirely. That evening, Jake accessed the personnel database searching for additional information about Isabella Stone. After 3 hours, he found classified after-action reports from Afghanistan and Syria, details that made his hands shake. Sniper Team Alpha achieved target elimination at range of 2,000, 347 meters. Primary operator demonstrated exceptional skill under extreme conditions. Recommend for immediate promotion and assignment to Tier 1 operations. At the bottom, Captain I. Stone, primary sniper, Delta Force. Delta Force, the most elite special operations unit. Jake stared until his eyes burned. His phone rang. Unknown number. Lieutenant Morgan, Jake, this is Colonel Peterson. We need to talk. Building 7, Conference Room C, 10 minutes. Bring what you found. Conference Room C was windowless, designed for classified briefings. Peterson waited with 2 other officers, a colonel and brigadier general. Sit down, Jake. Jake placed printed documents on the table. I think Isabella might be Captain Isabella Stone, Delta Force, currently the Army's top-rated sniper, the general interrupted. We know exactly who she is. Then why is she here pretending to be a student? Because she's not here as a student. She's here as your replacement. Silence was deafening. Replacement, sir? You've done excellent work, Jake, Peterson said gently, but mission requirements have changed. We need instructors with Tier 1 experience. The general leaned forward. Captain Stone is transitioning into your position to upgrade the entire program. So I'm being transferred? Promoted. Leadership position at Fort Benning. Significant career advancement. Does she know about the replacement? Captain Stone believes she was conducting covert evaluation, Peterson explained. Her report indicates the program lacks real-world combat integration. The general opened a folder. While basic marksmanship is adequate, students learn to shoot targets, not operate as snipers in hostile environments. Captain Stone specifically requested you remain as her second in command. She was impressed by your leadership and rapport with students. She requested me. Her exact words, Lieutenant Morgan has the respect of his soldiers and natural teaching instincts. The program would benefit significantly from his continued involvement. What would my role be? Student evaluation, basic instruction, administrative oversight. Captain Stone handles advanced training and real-world scenarios. Think partnership. When does transition happen? Monday morning, Captain Stone reveals her identity and assumes command. Monday morning arrived with unusual anticipation. Students assembled in the briefing room, conversations filled with speculation. Isabella entered wearing dress uniform instead of BDUs. Ribbons and badges told stories of exceptional service and classified achievements. Good morning. I know you've been wondering about inconsistencies in my performance this week. Nervous laughter rippled through the group. My name is Captain Isabella Stone. For 5 days, I've conducted program evaluation while maintaining cover as a transfer student. Surprised murmurs erupted. This deception wasn't intended to embarrass anyone. It was necessary to observe natural dynamics and assess effectiveness. Corporal Kim raised his hand. Ma'am, what's your actual background? I'm a sniper with 1st Special Forces Operational Detachment Delta. 8 years conducting operations in Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, and classified locations. My confirmed kill count exceeds 100. Profound silence. Jake watched mathematical calculations happening as soldiers processed. They'd been trying to match one of the most elite soldiers in existence. Beginning today, I'm taking over as primary instructor. Lieutenant Morgan remains as second in command, handling administrative duties while I focus on advanced scenarios. Sergeant Torres stood. Ma'am, That 1,200-meter shot Friday? How many times under combat conditions? More than I can count, Sergeant. Before this program completes, each of you will have skills and confidence for similar shots when lives depend on it. Transformation was immediate. Where confusion and bruised pride existed, Jake now saw determination and excitement. "Ma'am," Rodriguez called, "what's your longest confirmed kill?" Classified, but this program's maximum 1,200-meter range represents only the beginning of what's possible. Any other questions? Kim raised his hand. "Will you teach us everything you know?" "I'll teach you everything you're capable of learning. But warning, training becomes significantly more challenging. Real sniper training starts now." Program transformation was immediate and dramatic. Isabella restructured everything: schedules, methodologies, techniques most students never imagined. Gone were static targets and predictable conditions. Moving targets, time pressure, environmental challenges, combat simulations replaced them. Students shot in rain, wind, darkness, under stress, leaving them exhausted and exhilarated. Jake's new role allowed observing Isabella's teaching methods. Her intuitive understanding of pushing each student to maximum potential without breaking confidence impressed him more than shooting skills. Morrison, compensating wind drift 3 clicks too much. Trust calculations, not fear. Rodriguez, breathing irregular, combat stress doesn't excuse sloppy fundamentals. Kim, excellent placement, but 14 seconds target acquisition. Enemy would relocate twice in that time. Feedback was precise, immediate, constructive, never humiliating, never accepting less than maximum effort. "Leadership isn't about being the best," she explained to Jake. "It's about making everyone around you better than they thought possible." Progress was remarkable. Within 2 weeks, soldiers struggling at 800 meters made consistent 1,000-meter shots. Confidence grew with skills, creating positive feedback, elevating the entire program. 3rd week, Isabella revealed true training purpose. "You've demonstrated exceptional progress. Fortunate because you faced the ultimate test." Friday, live fire exercise with simulated combat conditions. Teams engaging multiple targets at various distances under time pressure and environmental stress. Performance determines graduation and eligibility for advanced special operations training. Electric energy filled the room. Special operations selection was typically reserved for soldiers with years of experience. Several of you have already demonstrated Tier 1 potential. Tier 1 units represented military achievement pinnacle. Exercise begins 0600 Friday morning until 1800 to complete objectives, random team assignments, no advanced knowledge of targets or scenarios. This proves training prepared you for real-world operations. Don't waste it. Friday dawned gray and cold, with steady wind complicating every shot. Isabella designed the exercise testing marksmanship, tactical thinking, teamwork, and pressure performance. Students divided into 4 four-person teams, each assigned different training area sectors. Mission: locate and neutralize specific targets while avoiding roving enemy patrols. Jake accompanied Isabella to observation post, overlooking the entire area. "Nervous?" Isabella asked. "Terrified. These soldiers have come so far. I want them to succeed." "They will. You've seen their progress. They're ready." Exercise began with Team Alpha moving cautiously through wooded area toward first objective. Simulated enemy sniper 900 meters away, partially concealed. Kim made the shot on his second attempt, clean hit neutralizing the threat. Excellent target analysis, Isabella noted. Good wind compensation, proper communication. Teams faced varying challenges. Multiple targets at different distances, simulated enemy encounters, environmental obstacles. Each team adapted, demonstrated skills, maintained discipline under pressure. Team Delta faced the most challenging scenario. Target at 400 meters, beyond most military snipers' attempts, obscured by heat mirage. Rodriguez spent 30 minutes calculating environmental factors. When he finally fired, the bullet struck dead center. "Outstanding," Isabella murmured, with genuine pride. By 1500 hours, all teams completed primary objectives. Isabella had one final surprise. Congratulations on performance. However, exercise isn't over. New mission. Locate and neutralize high-value target in Sector 7. Target is mobile, highly trained, aware of your presence. 2 hours. Jake looked questioningly. There's no target in Sector 7. Isabella's smile was enigmatic. Yes, there is. She picked up her rifle, moving toward the exit. Continue monitoring. I'll be back. Jake understood. Isabella was the final test. She positioned herself as high-value target, using her skills to provide ultimate challenge. Through spotting scope, Jake watched teams converge on Sector 7 with tactical precision. They hunted the hunter, pursuing someone whose skills far exceeded their own. For an hour and 40 minutes, Isabella evaded detection, moving like a ghost through terrain, using every concealment technique. With 15 minutes remaining, Team Alpha achieved the impossible. They located her position and set up for the shot. Jake held his breath as Kim lined up crosshairs on a target representing everything he aspired to become. 800 meters with moderate crosswind. Kim fired. Through the scope, Jake saw Isabella raise her hand, the signal for a successful hit. The exercise was complete. The students had not only met Isabella's impossible standards, they had exceeded them. 6 months later, Blackwater Base had become the premier sniper training facility in the military. Graduates were being recruited by special operations units worldwide. The program Isabella and Jake developed together had revolutionized how the Army approached precision marksmanship. Jake stood on the observation deck, watching a new class of students prepare for their final exercise. Isabella appeared beside him as she had so many times before. "Proud of them?" she asked. "Proud of what we built together," Jake replied. Isabella smiled. "You know, I've been thinking about our first week together." "You mean when you completely destroyed my ego and everything I thought I knew about shooting?" "I mean when I met the best natural teacher I'd ever encountered. Someone who could take what I showed him and make it accessible to others." Jake looked at her. "Is that really why you requested me to stay?" "That, and because you were the only person who looked at me and saw a soldier first, not just a pretty face. Even when I was convinced you were going to wash out?" "Especially then." They stood in comfortable silence, watching the next generation of snipers prepare to exceed what either of them had thought possible. Sometimes, Jake reflected, the best leaders aren't the ones who are naturally gifted. They're the ones who can recognize true excellence and step aside to let it flourish. And sometimes, the most deadly skills come in the most unexpected packages. This story was brought to you by Quiet Tales Studio. Have you ever met someone who completely changed your perspective on what excellence looks like? Someone whose hidden talents humbled and inspired you? Share your story in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. If you believe stories like Isabella and Jake's deserve to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us share these tales of unexpected greatness. Because at Quiet Tales Studio, we know that the most powerful lessons often come from the people who surprise us most. We'll see you in the next one.